everybody. I'm Anita Finley, your host for the Zoomer Times TV shows that we do as part of the Boomer Times magazine and whatever else we are doing out there. We're not doing events yet, but we're hoping to get some of them done. And I have one of our star, he is someone who's been with us for a long time. It's John Ahlbum, Ahlbum. I always have to spell it because sometimes people don't really know how that is. And if you're looking for great insurance, if you're a Medicare person, then you have a lot of choices. And I always like John to come on to clarify what those choices are because it's very confusing. You know, John, when you watch TV, you see a lot of people or companies asking you to make this phone call and we'll tell you all about it. Who are those people?
Paid actors, I think, or something, but they try to tell you all of the freebies and the other things that they've snuck into the Medicare Advantage plans to make up for the fact that they really don't do an awful lot of anything else for you.
And sometimes there's no actor, it's just a big sign that they say, this is the number, call Medicare.
And I've talked to more people recently who are getting just random like phone calls. You know, people try to explain it to them or sell it to them over the phone, and lots of mail with, you know, all these supposed goodies in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ahlbum, this is John Ahlbum, who is the founder of the Ahlbum Insurance Group. I'm going to give you a phone number and continue to give you a website. So if you want to pursue working with him, at least you can call. His website is Ahlbum, AHLBUM group.com, AHLBUM group.com. And the phone numbers, I'll give you the 954-970-4760. They're located actually in Margate if you wanted to go to their office.
Right.
And so you can do that, but it's up to you.
And
what do we have?
If somebody's driving or doesn't have a pen to write that phone number or the website, we have a second website too that is easy to remember. It's just Medicare.com. So you say Medicare and you can information.
You got a persistent phone call there. You got all this business coming in, right? John, you know, I think we ought to just go back a little bit and talk about family and Easter. We just did have our Easter celebration, and you have your company really is a little unusual because your staff and your other people are all family members, which I think is very nice.
Yes, it's a family business.
We're all functioning out of our office. Well, you're functioning out of your office or your home, I'm not sure, but I'm doing these interviews from home. And it's a different experience because I have my dog here and the dog just knocked over his bowl of water. On the carpet, no less. So I had to clean it up. Anyway, when we were just talking there, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown about your family? You never talk about them. So tell us, you're the founder, you're the chief operator. You've been there for many years. How many years?
31, something like that, somewhere now.
Amazing. Amazing, John. And you have your wonderful family. So who was the first one that you brought on?
Well, the first family member was actually my son, Tim, when he graduated from University of Central Florida. And when he got back down here, he majored in finance. And he said, until I get in something in finance, can I try playing around with insurance? And with insurance, and he never went into finance. So, I mean, he did for himself financially, but he never, you know, he he specialized in insurance, and he still did. He's doing very well. And then I think it was 8 or 9 years ago that my wife Donna she'd worked as an administrative assistant at North Broward Prep and some other schools and some other things. And when we moved into this office, there was a small office that I said, "This is yours. We'll set it aside for you. You can use it for whatever you want." And she said, "I think I'll get my license and use it for that." And
Wow.
so she did, and she's done very well. So.
And is that it? Just your wife and your son?
My daughter-in-law, Christine Ahlbum, is an agent. My son, Casey, sold Final Expense with us for a while, and then he got a position at Office Depot, and which he's very happy with. So, but Christine loves the insurance business.
So you're surrounded. So what happens as the boss if something's not right that you see and you have a problem? I mean, sometimes they say all working together could be troublesome. How does that come out? I know you're a gentle guy.
They take as much interest and care in the business as I do. They want it to run right. They want everything to be smooth. And we all kind of, we look out for each other, but we all kind of go our own way, so to speak, so it's good. And Donna's mostly from home right now because of very few people want you to come visit them anymore on an appointment. And she can get as much done at home as she can here. When she comes here, she brings the dogs. So we're just like you, we're never dog free.
Right. I think the dogs are going to have a hard time when people want to go back to offices.
Yeah, well, our dogs don't, because if we go to the office, they come.
Right. That's what I did, but there's some people who won't be able to do that. So it's going to be, even now, if I go out for an hour or two, my dog sits at the door waiting for me to come back.
Yes. You can hear him crying the minute you open the door.
Right. Well, when you were in the insurance business at the beginning, wasn't like this. You didn't have the same kind of competition, I don't think. In your field, and you ought to explain what your insurance is as a supplement compared to the HMOs. And then after you do that, I just wanted to throw in that you still probably didn't have the kind of competition that you have today.
Well, really the difference is that when I started with Medicare, you're right, it was mostly just supplements. There were some, and they didn't even call them Advantage plans, and they were Medicare HMOs is what they called them. And I remember in 1999, the Cleveland Clinic decided they were going to cut all their ties with all of the Medicare HMOs. And this was in, I think, late September. And I just happened to be on an appointment writing an application for a man who had just dropped Humana and gone back to Medicare. And he told me about the Cleveland Clinic. So as soon as I left his office, I drove down to the Cleveland Clinic. And they were used to when they were on Cypress Creek Road in Fort Lauderdale, and met with the gentleman who was their insurance advisor. And he said, "Oh yeah, we could definitely get together and do something. If you can supply me with paperwork and things that I can hand out. We do a meeting every day with people coming in." So he would get me some names, and I would call and make an appointment for him or assistant or me to go see them. And we wrote a lot of business over those 3 months.
Right. Wow, that was a coup.
And then the following June, one of the biggest HMOs decided to leave the Keys. So another friend of mine and I rotated between Key West and Key Largo once or twice a week, and wrote a lot of supplements in the Keys.
Oh, that's very interesting stuff. So that was back in the late 90s.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, they became Medicare Advantage plans and the HMOs and PPOs and everything else, and it just got to the point where it was. I think people started looking for stuff for thinking they were getting something for nothing, and they were actually getting nothing for nothing. So, but a lot of them tried them anyway. And now there are some plans out there that are very worthwhile for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I still think that traditional Medicare is the best way to go because you can choose your doctor, you can choose your hospital, you can choose where you want to go. I mean, like MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston and Sloan Kettering, and most of the big cancer hospitals won't accept the HMOs or PPOs. A lot of the specialty hospitals for, specialty surgeries or other things won't accept the HMOs or PPOs. So you've got to have traditional Medicare if you want to be able to be treated by some of the top people in the country.
So tell me, let's go back a minute. Why don't they accept the HMOs?
Because they don't want to be part of a network, and they don't want to be limited by what the HMO wants to pay. They want to be able to charge Medicare for what Medicare allows and get paid by Medicare and get paid by either the secondary insurance, which is a supplement, or by the policyholder.
Maybe one reason is they'll be able to attract more higher efficient doctors.
Yes. And in a network type situation, I think the doctors are limited as to what they can do and who they, everything else. So if they're not part of a network, they have the freedom to, do things and give care and take care of their patients.
Mm-hmm. So you don't have patients who call you complaining about a lot of those kinds of things, I guess. They probably have some complaints about other things. Everyone has a complaint, but that's not one of them then. I mean, I guess they can go to the doctor.
Sometimes they'll call with a question, or they'll say, I just called this doctor's office who's a specialist in this or that, and when they asked for my insurance company and I gave them United American, they said that you weren't in their network. I said, we're not in anybody's network because we're not. I said, so
thank goodness, right?
I said, call them back and ask them if they accept traditional Medicare, because then they naturally accept United American too.
See, I've had your insurance for a long time, and I've had a different response. When they ask me for insurance, I tell them I'm United American. They put me right in.
Yeah, well, that's our best referrals come from doctors' offices, and a lot of doctors have United American. So it's what's better than your doctor saying, well, I suggest you get the same plan I have,
The one thing, though, that I am, as a gerontologist, I'm sad about, and I've seen it happen, but it just happened to me the other day. I was referred by my doctor to go to a pulmonologist, and I make a phone call. I don't know these people. They don't know me. The person answers the phone. I said, I need an appointment, and I was referred by so-and-so. And she says the next thing out of her mouth, what do you think she says?
What company do you have?
That's it. What's your insurance? That's the next word, not thank you for calling, or we're glad to have you, or now I have to, just like that. What insurance do you have? Now, even more than that, she wanted to have the Medicare number. I gave her the number. I told her about United American, and she said, "We'll call you back later with an appointment." What? Yes, that's what they do. They have to take time to check. You know, John, that was not, I mean, this is not your problem, but I just wanted to share that with you. And I was very upset, and I decided I wasn't going to go there, but I thought, okay, I'll try it one more time. I didn't get a call back from them. The next day I called with the idea I'm not going to even do anything. A different person answered and was so nice and asked me again and said, "I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to call you back," and that changed it. But you know, it's just that that doctor doesn't even know what's going on his phone.
I know, it's sad, and they're not training their people right, because all they know, they don't, a lot of the people that answer the phone don't realize that there's traditional Medicare and there's managed care Medicare. All they know is the managed care because they have a list in front of them of all the different HMOs and PPOs that the doctor is in network with. Nowhere on there does it say traditional Medicare. So if you ask one of the newer people, especially, do you take, you accept traditional Medicare, don't you? And they go, "I don't know what that is."
Oh my goodness.
But so you
Well,
got to explain it to them and walk them through it a little bit. But once they learn, then they're fine.
and the doctor, I'm sure, says, "We love traditional Medicare because it's better for us. It's easier. They don't have to call. We can call and get everything we need. We don't have to wait for other people to decide if it's an okay." And I know a doctor. He's not practicing now, but I know that he took HMOs. He took, of course, traditional, and there were some people where he knew they needed their medical care than the HMO would allow, and he just did it anyway and then fought them.
Yeah. It's sad because now they're throwing in all of these goodies to try to attract people into the PPOs, like a gym membership and eye care and dental care, and all the dental care is a discount. All the eye care is a discount. The gym membership, I've had clients of mine who asked about a gym membership, and I said, "Well, you can join a lot of the gyms for $5 or $10 a month. In fact, if you're really hard up and you want to go to the gym, I'll buy a membership for a few months." "Well, I don't want to go. If it was free, I just wanted it. That's all." You know, they had no intention.
Oh, well. Right. John, after a while, every HMO will just have the same thing. So what's the difference?
That's right. And the sad part is that they're still, if you look at the end of the year when they post their profits, they're still putting a lot of money in their pocket. Medicare pays so much per person to them per month. So they're not getting more money from Medicare for this gym membership or for the this or that. So they're taking it away from the doctors and from the medical care. And it's hard to convince people of that, but that's what it is. I mean, you get X amount of dollars a month per person, and every year the companies are, the HMOs and the PPO companies are making bigger profits than they made the year before. So they're not giving anything up. They're just taking it away they're just moving it around internally in everybody's policies, you know?
Well, the one thing is eye care, we do get that with Medicare, traditional Medicare. I mean, I go to doctors, they don't charge me. Now,
Right.
One thing we don't get is dental, and it's not your fault, but I think that, and medical and insurance never cared about, you had to pay for dental, which I think as a gerontologist, I think dental should have always been part of it because it's part of your health. But it never has been, and that's too bad.
And Medicare is talking about adding some dental benefits to Medicare.
Oh, wonderful. I hope that happens.
If you and I
You know,
will
just dental
see it, I don't
cleaning
know,
or
but
just,
they are talking about it.
yeah, because dental cleaning and things like that doesn't cost that much, and I would think
Well,
that
and they're
would be
also
very good.
finding out there's so much stuff, so many things that stem from a bad tooth or something that,
Yes,
cause other problems in the body. So if you can,
yes.
at the start, then
Mhm.
you have a lot
Yeah,
help.
you're right. So you could save money. That's right. Because a lot of it, if you have an infection, it can go to your heart or something. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope there's a good organization there lobbying to get that done, because it's the one thing that I don't have, and and I don't have dental insurance either. Someone told me that they took dental insurance and asked them, I think 300, I don't know how much a month, and all they got back was $13
It's really,
for
yeah,
this one thing.
most of all the dental plans, you have to have for 3 or 4 years and keep putting money in them before you really get even a minimal benefit out of it.
So there's a lot of things that could be corrected, and
I
that's
went
probably
to,
more.
I was looking at some plans at one point, thinking about selling them, and I went and talked to my dentist, and she said, "I'll tell you what, if you don't get a dental plan, I'll give you a 20% discount across the board for your whole family."
Wow,
She said,
that's wonderful.
"Yeah," she said, "I'll still make more money than I would if you were in a dental plan, and I don't
See, yeah, so many things.
and everything else." So
Yeah, we don't know any of that. Well, I know we've been having a great conversation. I love this. We're talking about a lot of different things, but I want everyone to know that this is John Ahlbum, Ahlbum, and his office is in Margate. And his website is ahlbumgroup.com, ahlbumgroup.com. And their phone number is 954-970-4760. And it's a family owned organization, which is really nice. As he discussed, everybody's going to be really nice to you. I don't think you'll ever get the kind of phone call that I had to go through the other day to try to get an appointment as a new patient. Yeah, they should have been happy. Do you know that what I did, I don't want to belabor this, but I used to help companies, and I used to make these phone calls to see how they treated people. They paid me to do that. It's like a shopper's fee. And this was the worst. It really wasn't. It wasn't that it was the doctor's policy, because one person acted different than the other person.
yeah, yeah.
But they really could have lost me. As a matter of fact, I did start looking up other pulmonologists to think where else I would go. But I figured that my doctor referred, and he said he was very good. So, and you can't complain, because then that marketing, the person in charge of the office will really call you, it'll be a problem. So you have to keep your mouth shut. Imagine they couldn't make an appointment just like that. Because in a good place you call, they take your number and they make an appointment. And if there's a problem with your card, then they will talk to you. I had to wait a whole day to make an appointment. Now I had to wait 2 weeks. So
After you made the appointment.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's an experience, and it gives me a chance to appreciate people like you, that when
Sure.
someone calls you, you're going to take care of it.
And as a pulmonologist, you're going to see?
What? Yeah, pulmonologist.
Pulmonologist, that's good. Oh, and you mentioned eye care and Medicare, right? Medicare will pay for the eye exam. They'll pay for everything but the refraction, where they click the little button and say, how do you see it now? That you pay that out of pocket. And they also, if you need cataracts, Medicare still
They pay for cataracts.
They do the traditional cataract. They don't do the new super improved lenses and those kinds of things.
But now, because I'm part of your network, part of your company, So it's the same there, that I don't get anything special is what you're saying, but the HMO certainly don't do it. But if I get the traditional, it's not an extra charge. But if I want anything that does this or that, then I have an extra payment.
Right, you pay extra for, but Medicare is still doing covering most of it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I have to think about that anyway. I've been putting it off. I see most everything okay, but there is that, I probably should have done it, but I'm certainly not doing it well. We had this, this problem with COVID. I want to stay away from hospitals or anything else,
I know what you mean.
as long as I can see and all that. So it looks like we're now down to the wire. And it was great talking to you because, that I love that story about Cleveland Clinic. I never heard that before. That was clever. It's good that you were in the right place at the right time.
I really was. And the hardest part was leaving this gentleman's house without looking like I was running out the door. I stayed patient, but I wanted to get down there right away.
Of course. No, well, you've done well. And it's so nice dealing with you. And so if you want more information about a Medicare supplement, just call them. I know you're able to call numbers on the television, but they know so much there. And if you don't want to buy a Medicare supplement, they'll talk to you. They probably know some HMOs that they think are even better than others, and so they'll have a conversation with you. Yes, it does cost some money to take a Medicare supplement, but in the long run, I think you'll be happier. I have been very happy. There was just a price increase, but it was so minimal. I know I just got it, John. It was like $13, $12 a month. It wasn't that much, but
it's over the last 10 years, our rate increase has only been year by year, 0.8%.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, we had a rate decrease.
I don't remember that, but I just trust you. I trust what you've done. And I want to thank you very much for being in our show today, and take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you again, hopefully next month.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Bye.
Bye, Dan.